I'm lying, I must be contradicted. Contradict me if I'm lying. I asked the House to contradict. There were more graduates this year, beginning of this year, than any other year, of black people. There were more post-grad intake in this university than any other year. Why are you not clapping? Are you not happy that there are more black people who are graduating? Comrades, this movement has been able to achieve a lot. SRCs have fought very hard, lost, won, lost. Until we got Fees Must Fall, we were able to graduate more people. Now, it is clear that it is money that is holding our brothers and sisters from graduating. When they go into the classroom, they are nervous. They are anxious. Because if they fail a course, they are out. Imagine learning in those conditions with a threat. How do you sit and be comfortable and think? So we're not equal in this university because we engage. Our mode of relationality to this space is anxiety. You come from the rural areas, you can't even speak English proper in that logic, that is acceptable to the university. You can't pronounce the way the university wants you to pronounce, and you're immediately alienated. When you enter there, they ask you for ridiculous amounts of 10,000, 12,000 at whim like that in January, imagine. When you had been eating custard and all those things. You have 7 distinctions. The only thing that is stopping you from entering this ivory tower is chelete. When you enter this university, there is no Steve Biko here. There is no Sobukwe here. There is no Winnie Mandela here. All you see is Waiting Weiler. All you see is David Webster. No Stephen Biko. No Winnie Mandela.
compatriots, it is now or never. And if we make the mistake that we have in the past of allowing us to believe their lies, we're never going to move forward. We will save the academic year and we will deliver free education. And to our mothers and our fathers, to our grandmothers and our grandfathers, to every single member of society who may not understand what this is about, look around you. Look around at the number of people who, despite every effort of the university to collapse today, is here. Every single person who on Tuesday, when we were in Armageddon, when it was a war zone, stood up to police, stood up to the state, and stood up to every single person who did not believe us. We will continue with this movement. And we are not selfish. We are not hooligans. We are young people with a vision. Young people who will not give up. And so come Monday, we will remain peaceful. We will sit or we will stand, but we will stand and remain. If it means they must shoot at us, they must shoot at us. If it means we must continue to be brutalized, we will do that. Because we have passed the point of no return. Like I am telling you, there are people whose lives are forever changed, forever scarred. And we cannot allow that to be in vain. And if there is any loss of life, it will not be the fault of students. It will be the fault of those who did not listen. Who in January, when we raised these issues, did not take us seriously. Who when in June, when we said the same things, when last night, when the people behind me did not sleep, continuously engaging, and ultimately coming to an agreement. It is those who did not listen to us. It will be their fault. Because we don't want to walk away with a loss of life. We don't have to. We really do not have to. All we need really is to be listened to. All we need is people to come here, even if it's around the country, and listen. Listen to what we are saying. We're not picking up rocks because it's fun. We're not doing it for nothing. We're not in this space putting our degrees and our lives on the line. We are not having our parents cry, having our mothers and our fathers sit us down and say, what are you doing? We're not doing this for fun. We are doing this because we realize that we are the country's future. And if we don't act now, if we don't act now, the future of this country is in jeopardy. So understand what we are doing. Understand that we are going to build this country and we will do what we have to do to get free and equality and a decolonized education. Amandla! Amandla!
Bafunda mahala. South Africa siyabhadala. Bafunda mahala. South Africa siyabhadala. Join mntwanam sikhombisa ibhuku sokushaya amabhuku. Come and join mntwanam sikhombisa ibhuku sokushaya amabhuku. Bafunda mahala. South Africa siyabhadala. Bafunda mahala. South Africa siyabhadala. Come and join mntwanam sikhombisa ibhuku sokushaya amabhuku. Come and join mntwanam sikhombisa ibhuku sokushaya amabhuku. Bafunda mahala. South Africa siyabhadala. Bafunda mahala. South Africa siyabhadala. Come and join mntwanam sikhombisa ibhuku sokushaya amabhuku. Come and join mntwanam sikhombisa ibhuku
Mandla. Comrades, thank you very much, Comrade Nopala. It's very emotional. This is a very emotional battle when you speak from the heart. And we are also speaking to those other hearts, those uncircumcised hearts. We are speaking to those. Comrades, as we had said that, the assembly continues and this is it. And I am happy that parents are here and those who are always on Twitter and media will see that this is the 23% that Adam Habib speaks about. This is the 23% that doesn't want to go to class. We are waiting to see the 77%. Comrades, all of us here, we want to go back to class. Now, but we can only go back to class once our demands are met. It's not true that there is a certain few individuals that just doesn't want school. That's not true. We are all here to acquire academic excellence. At home, they are waiting for us to come back with the degree so that they can eat mayonnaise for the first time. Comrades, as the black masses, we need the education more than anyone else. When we get the degree at home, they will eat tomato sauce for the first time. That's the reality. Now, nobody then can come here and tell us that we don't want education because nobody knows where we come from. Some of us here, your parents are selling mukhodu. Some of you, your parents are selling scopo. Some of you, your parents are farm workers and farm dwellers. They rely on the degree so that you can provide a better life for your parents. Now, the reality of the matter then, NSFAS doesn't allow that. It doesn't allow that once you graduate, you can take your parents out of abject poverty. NSFAS itself is a scheme that was meant to subject black graduates to abject poverty until they die. Comrades, you pay NSFAS, you don't finish. It's a loan, it has interest, it accumulates. When you chase, it opens. When you chase, it opens. The other group, our colleagues, those who are from privileged backgrounds, those who have no academic debts, when they graduate here, they don't owe anything. They already have a flat, fully furnished flat. They already have a car and 1 million in the bank. Yourself as a black graduate, when you leave resident, you don't even have a bed. You don't have a fridge. You don't even have a spoon because the spoon is for Royal Mnand. Now, comrades, it is also it is also true that black graduates don't earn the same salary as white graduates. Even if you have the same qualifications, you are doing the same job, but you don't earn the same salary. That's what we talk about, free decolonized education. We include that as well. We are leveling the ground. We are saying we also don't want to have graduate debt. We want to live here with no debts, go to workplace and be able to provide at home and take out our people out of abject poverty. That's what we are crying for here. I'm going to ask Professor to speak on behalf of the academics, Professor, because we have the academics here. So now, Habib Adam must then tell us how the year will be wasted, because academics are here. Thank you very much, Professor.
Amandla. Comrades, students and parents, workers, this morning we got a notice to say that the assembly has been postponed. But as I stand here, I see an assembly. You will know that academics nationally called for a day of action today. And the academics at Wits planned their day of action, their picket, at 9 o'clock, believing that there would be an assembly. We were going to march here and join the assembly. Because the assembly was postponed, or at least the formal assembly was postponed, academics decided to meet in Solomon House after our picket. We had a discussion there about the consequences of the postponement of the assembly. We then received a message from your leadership requesting us to come here. That meeting mandated me to speak and report to you what was discussed at that meeting. I should also say to you that the meeting decided to all convene at this assembly. So all the academics who were there are now here. I don't want to speak too long because, as the chair has said, what is most important today is that we hear an interaction, that we hear the voices of the hundreds of people who are here. We can't have a situation where we speak for hours and you simply sit there passively listening to us. So we want interaction. So I'm going to be very quick. I want to say that we decided to have a national day of action because academics across the country believe, like you do, that the education system is in a crisis. We also believe and acknowledge that the students have played the leading role in highlighting the crisis. Students have played the leading role in putting on the agenda the need for an urgent solution to the crisis. Students at Wits University and elsewhere have also come up with proposals about how to solve the crisis. So this narrative in the media that students are only interested in burning down buildings is a false narrative. What I have seen over many, many years, I never see in the media of students sitting down, debating issues, disagreeing amongst one another, and people worry. They say, why are students disagreeing? This worries me. We are at a university where students are supposed to disagree. We are at a university because people who are here can think for themselves. Now, Academics have said and acknowledged the leading role that students have played. And we decided over many, many months that it's time for academics nationally to make their collective voices heard. And we have focused on a couple of key issues. One, at our university and elsewhere, because of the decrease in state subsidy to universities, we are having to make decisions about what to cut at universities. We don't want to do that. We have, over the last 20 years, have seen a transformation in the kind of student who comes to university, and you can see this year. Wits now has more than 50% of its students being black students. We still have a long way to go for Wits to be truly representative of the country, but we're getting there. However, even as we have massified, the state has not matched that massification with appropriate funding. In my view, that is a consequence of the decision in 1996 to adopt GEAR. It's a neoliberal logic, at the heart of which is the commodification of education. So, when academics say we need to increase the state subsidy, we are sending a very clear message that we as academics support education as a public good. That education is not a privilege. On radio you hear, education is a privilege. It's not. Education is a right. Academics are standing up and saying, we must protect education, higher education, and basic education as a public good. So that is why we picketed, and I should report to you that as we are speaking here, there are pickets taking place across the country. Our neighbors at UJ are picketing at the moment, and so on. Now, at the meeting that we left to come and join you, we had a debate about what we should be doing. And there were 2 or 3 clear messages that came from that meeting. The first is that as academics, we witnessed what happened on Tuesday. We're taking a very clear stand as academics that we will not teach in conditions of securitization at university. Universities are places of teaching, of learning, of research, where the university community, students are at the heart of that. Academics, workers who are part of our community, and administrators, we must defend the space. We must defend the space as a public good. When we allow bouncers to come onto the university, when we allow the police to come onto the university, we are handing over our public good, our public space to security, and we won't stand for that. So those academics who met earlier will be sending a message to management to make this position absolutely. For us, it's a principled position. The second issue that we discussed was that we are deeply concerned about the decision to postpone this assembly. We feel that the efforts by the former presidents of the Black Student Society, which I think was an important intervention to try and find a way out of the crisis, that the postponement of the assembly places that mediation process in jeopardy. We are calling for continuation of that process. We are calling for dialogue. We were hoping, as I hope will happen here, that this assembly could be used for the different constituencies at the university to listen to one another. But there is an urgency, there is a crisis. We also expressed the view that it is not appropriate to put specific deadlines on this process. Because when you say a particular kind of assembly must happen on Friday, when you say that the university must open on Monday, then you are creating obstacles in the way of having a dialogue and engaging in a process of negotiation. From what I have heard, students are saying that they want the university to open. They want the academic year to be completed. Academics support that view. But it can't just be open, or what we can't have is to have it open in the way that was attempted on Tuesday. We can't have that. So, to conclude, the academics are going to express their views to management. We will report to them what I've reported.
church leaders are in Pretoria, engaging with the communities and seeking to facilitate the same process as we are working on here. I will therefore now introduce to you the president of the Council of Churches. I was a president myself, and he is my successor. Bishop Siwa is the presiding bishop of the Methodist Church here based here in Johannesburg, but is in charge of the church nationally. And I will then ask him to come forward and commit us to the Lord, and ask all the clergy here raise their hand upon you and call upon the Spirit to come on you and bless and give us courage. God says, fear not wherever you are, because I'm with you at all ways, all the time. Amandla. Amandla. Free education. Free education. Decolonized education. Marco Benjalo. Marco Benjalo.
Amandla. Anhlale phansi. I'm asking you to sit down because we must agree what I'll be praying for. You were here almost the whole day, so I cannot just walk in and pray as if I know what is in your hearts. On behalf of the churches, we have been meeting all along, and we've asked the church leaders throughout the country, in all the provinces, to be in each and every university, to listen, to protect, to come in and walk alongside the students. So what we are saying, number one, is that we salute you. We salute the students for putting onto the table of the nation what the nation should have resolved long ago. Do know that the South African Council of Churches is fully behind you. We engaged with the parents, as Bishop Joe has said, and I want to say this: no one in his or her right mind will disagree with what you are asking for. I say in his or her right mind. As the Council of Churches, we say the security, the police, and everybody, listen here, listen here, listen here. They are not the decision makers. So the leaders of the nation must stop sending people who are not decision makers. Actually, the police and the other people in the security sector have got their children here. So you cannot turn parents against their own children and their brothers and sisters. So they must refuse to be sent here. The people who are able to decide must come and sit down and negotiate. This is not war. Education, we cannot fail as a nation to invest in the future of this nation. Because it's not only investing in your future, you're investing in the future of the gogos whom you are going to be looking after. So when we fund education, we invest in the future of the nation. So that those who are in leadership, in government, in higher education, in business, the students themselves must sit down and say, a fee-free education is possible. The only thing that they must sit to discuss is to how are we going to make it happen sooner than later. That's all. That's what should be on the agenda. Education is not a commodity to be sold. I saw song. We cannot continue to generate slaves. We want the children of the continent of Africa to be the producers of knowledge. And not only consumers of knowledge generated elsewhere. In order for that to happen, education must be available, accessible to everybody. The state, the business, actually the business are the beneficiaries of what you are going to do. The state, the business, and everybody else must find the money to fund education. It is not your war, but you started it. Don't lose focus. Keep your eye on the ball, that we do not lose what you have forced this nation to talk about. I end by saying those who are in leadership must sit down and talk and say, how are they going to do it? It makes me angry, Bishop Joe and the comrades, when you are going to make the parents and the children to be at war. It makes me angry when the country is burning, the leadership of the nation is nowhere to be seen. I am going to ask you, I know that we come from different faiths and religions. But when people agree, there's one God, whatever name you're going to use to call God, it's okay. But when people agree, what is it that they are going to ask for? God hears. And if God wants it to happen, it will happen. We just warn those who are in leadership, whether in the church, whether in business, whether in government, whether everywhere else, though we warn them that they must be careful, they must not fall before the fees fall. Because if they refuse, they will fall. And the fees will follow them. Going to use just 2 minutes now to ask God to intervene. And you never tell God how he's going to intervene. You must be careful when God intervenes. So in your faith, those who are faithless, God of life, God of justice, God of peace, God of dignity, intervene now. God of all creation, Almighty, we know you are a
Ate moti mori hawele morena, uri hawele morena, uri hawele morena. Jesu yana ate moti mori hawele morena. Jesu yana ate moti mori hawele morena. Hawele, ure hawele morena. Hawele morena. Jesu yana ate moti mori hawele morena. Jesu yana ate moti mori hawele morena. Peace be with you. Utula mapenani. Bitte mandla nkulunkulu. I want us to sing the national anthem, the original one, the decolonized national anthem. I will give Koketso to lead.
Mandla awethu awunkosi nkosi sikelela awusikelela eAfrika awumalupakanyeso lupakanyeso ondolwayo awizwa imithandazo awemithandazo yethu awusibe moya munye sibe moya mo awunkose ngosisikelela awusikelela eAfrika awumalupakanyeso lupakanyeso ondolwayo awizwa imithandazo awimithandazo yethu sibe moya munye sibe moya mo awunoma sekonzema awusekonzema emhlabeni awusihlukunyezwa sihlukunyezwa kabuhlungu awunkosi sipha amandla awusipha amandla okunqoba silwe nosathane silwe nosatha awunoma sekonzema awusekonzema emhlabeni awusihlukunyezwa sihlukunyezwa kabuhlungu awunkosi sipha amandla awusipha amandla okunqoba silwe nosathane silwe nosatha awuthulu awuthulu
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Amanda, we continue to provide leadership where it is. The assembly continues. The former Vice Chancellor, Habib Adam, called off the assembly. The former Vice Chancellor, he didn't know that he didn't have those powers. With the powers vested on me, I commissioned the continuation of the assembly. The people at home who were deceived through a press briefing, they must know that the assembly is in progress and we are doing very well. I am going to ask Professor Pitika Ntuli, former Vice Chancellor of UKZN, Mandla, he is going to give us a poem. Maibuye, 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 Mandla.
The generation of the youth of the 1930s, led by Alfred Nzula, went to the Soviet Union to fight for a black republic, setting an international agenda. The generation of the 1940s, led by Anthony Mzwakele Mbete, that formed the ANC Youth League, put the issue of African culture and economics on the agenda. The generation of the 1950s, led by Madiba, defied the unjust laws. The generation of the 1960s, led by Sobukwe, defied the... When you say that about Sobukwe, I can't resist saying, I am Azania, truth made redundant by a tyrant's gag. I do not bend and I do not break. The generation of the 70s, led by Tsietsi, put the issue of language onto the agenda. The generation of the 80s invented the toy and rendered the government ungovernable. The generation of the 90s got into the corporate sector to open ways. The generation here now has taken it further by saying fees must fall. Imagine the households that are supported by old women. One thinks that money is no longer going to go to Wits. It is going to improve this thing. It is a social revolution that we are. Let me say this once more. One of the leaders, you won't know them because your education is not decolonized yet. Yeah. How many of you here have ever heard of a man called I.B. Tabata? Do you see? I.B. Tabata is one of the leaders. I.B. Tabata said, on earth, the molten lava in the center of the earth expands. It wants an escape. When it escapes onto the surface of the earth, you've got a volcanic eruption. In society, discontent like this one, simmering under the surface of the earth, when it erupts into the face, you have got a social revolution. It's a natural phenomenon. Let me say then, I won't be long, let me say then that I'm so happy that the professors were here because I thought somebody asked me in an interview, what do you think of South African academics? My answer was, when you speak of academics, I reach for my microscope. But I must correct it. Here are the people, here are the people that are here. Let me then remind you where we come from. I'm glad that the people of the cloth here, the people of God were here. They will actually forgive me. When we were angry, like you were angry at our own time, we decided, bishops, to break diplomatic relations with God, but decided that we must nonetheless pray. Maybe we have to think of new prayers. Can we pray? P.W. Porter is my shepherd, I am in want. He maketh me to lie down in street corners. He disturbs my soul for apartheid's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valleys and shadows of inflation, I anticipate no recovery, for he is against me. He prepareth a reduction in my salary. He increases my VAT. My expenses runneth over. Surely unemployment and uprising shall follow him all the days of his administration. I shall carry my AK-47 forever and ever. Ratata, ratata, ra-ta-ta. Finally, I want you to listen to this finally. Where we come from. First, they said we were natives. Then they realized that the native under the Department of Native Affairs. When they learned that native meant we owned the land, they changed. They called us Bantu under the Department of Bantu Affairs. When they realized that Bantu meant we were the people, they changed. They called us plurals under the Department of Plural Affairs. And our revolution became singular. They called us cooperatives under the Department of Cooperative Affairs. Like today, across stakeholders, we have cooperated. How could we then be defeated? Then we must remember those ancestors who came before, who fought for this land. One of them is Ushaka Erapuga Nomakeba, who 200 years ago, I will share that. Hear him very carefully. Udlunga nekandaba, udlunga nombelebele, odluke emanqulumeni, kwaze kwasa amanqulume esibikelana, usishaka sishayekisa njengamanzi, unodumo ehlezi kamenzi, ilembele eqamanye amalebe ngokukhalipha, ushange sabe ukuthi ushaka, ushaka inkosi asemashobeni, utekula abafazi bakanomgabhi, betekula bethuhlayo kayibusa, ushaka kuba inkosi, kanti lapho ezonethezela, umlilo othathele kaMjohane, umlilo obuhanguhangu, osisa isikhova zasedlebe, kwaze wasane sabendani, wadabula indima nomgovu, iziqu zemithi zabheka phezulu. May you then, I would ask you all to stand up in honor of the big generals who have organized us, the students who have led us. Can you stand up and pay honor to them? All I'm going to say to you, like almost like Hitler, say, salute!
Thank you very much, comrade. You can be seated. Thank you very much. The assembly continues. The assembly continues. Comrades, Wits University is a university in Africa. We don't know whether it's an African university, but it is a university in Africa, which then means in our struggle, in our articulations, we can't afford not to speak to the challenges of international students. They are part and parcel of this revolution. From Cape to Cairo, from Morocco to Madagascar, from Cape to Cairo. Madagaskar, Tanzania, Israelethu. Soyithatha ngemakarofo, Tanzania, Israelethu. Soyithatha ngemakarofo, Iole, Iole. Soyithatha ngemakarofo, Mayibuye, Mayibuye, Mayibuye. I-Azalea, Israelis. Soyithatha nge-Freedom Charter. I-Azalea, Israelis. Soyithatha nge-Freedom Charter. Mayibuye, mayibuye. Soyithatha ngemakaro. Manda, manda. Comrades, if you have noticed, the songs that we sing here, they speak to our cause. Songs liberated South Africa. Songs liberated South Africa. Comrades, we can't speak of free decolonized education and leave out international students. There is no one who's a foreigner here, but the borders are. The borders are the foreigners which divided Africa. Wits University continues to segregate on international students. Can you tell me why someone from Maseru needs a study permit to study here? When we speak their language. Why is someone from Botswana needing a study permit to study here when the whole of Northwest is Botswanas? When the whole of Free State is Basotho? When the whole of Mpumalanga is Swazis? When is this university going to lead society? When are we going to talk about SADC issues? Issues of the region? When is South Africa going to take its rightful position and lead Africa? That's the question that Wits University must answer. It claims to be number one in Africa, but it is number one in oppressing international students. International students in this university are expected to pay 100% upfront fee payment before they come here. Even if you have a study permit from Zimbabwe, Wits rejects it. They want momentum. They want their own medical aid. That's corruption. At some point when Wits University had leadership, when there was a genocide in Rwanda, the leadership which was here, Rwandans were studying for free at Wits. There was still leadership at this university. That was the contribution of the university in Africa. It says, children of Rwandans, the doors of learning are opened at this institution. They were studying for free. Today, South Africans are not allowed to study for free. Charity begins at home. The reason why Habib Adam didn't come to this gathering is because he is trying so hard to protect a certain image of Wits University when it is smelling inside. It is smelling inside, but he wants to go out in public and behave like holier than thou. That's why he's not here. We are going to raise these issues, and these issues are going to be addressed. To international students, we are with you, and we will kill this cancer, because this is a cancer. Those who do medicine, they know that you ban cancer. So we will ban this cancer. I am going to ask the representative of the workers, the insourcing group, those who are marginalized, our parents, those who ensure that our beds, our rooms are clean, our toilets are clean, because some of us, you have cleaners at home. When you come here, you can't even prepare your own bed. You can't even pick up your own clothes on the floor. These are the parents who ensure that our rooms are fine. Ours is to concentrate on academics. We eat in the dining hall they have cooked. You go to your room, it's clean. Yours is you and books alone. You don't have to be thinking, what am I going to eat? Do I have mayonnaise and onion? Thank you very much.
Amakomane, samakomane, 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 se. Amakomane, se. Amakomane, se. Amakomane, samakomane, samakomane. Amakomane, samakomane, 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 se. Okay, comrades, I was misled by Habib Adam, as Mcebo would say, into believing that this assembly is not taking place today. And I had prepared something that I just came here empty-handed, but I'm gonna speak from the heart. We, as the mothers and the fathers, the workers of this campus, we believe in free education, and we support the students. As the students last year, they managed to hold back on their demand of free education, and they pushed forward the demand of ending outsourcing first. They became less selfish, and they said, we cannot continue studying in this campus, pretending as if we don't see what is happening to our mothers and our fathers. And they pushed forward the struggle for outsourcing. As you all know what happened last year in October, outsourcing was killed. That is why this year we support the students. If the students say, come parents, we leave everything and we support our students because we believe in this. I just want to thank God that our students are so clever, because while all this struggle is happening, the students take their time to educate us as well, because we also didn't understand this free education. We were asking ourselves, where is the money going to come from? And these students, because they are bright, look at them, as bright as, and young as they are, they gave us the education, and they made us understand, because the narrative at the time was in the media that how can the rich pay? How are we allowing the rich to pay? We're not talking about the rich, because the rich are a minority. The poor, yibo abantu abaningi. Asinandaba nabantu abanemali, mabathatha imali yabo baye overseas bayobhadala ngoba vele bafuna the best. And now we understand that free education is possible. Look at our beautiful land. Lo mhlaba wethu lo unama resources, unama mineral, unegolide, uneplatinum. Yizo lezi zinto efanele zisiphi free education. Hence, I say we will always support the struggle, because I believe that it's a struggle that is long overdue. And if the struggle of free education, because even our government, when they are campaigning, they are promising us free education. And if this was realized long time ago, I believe that I wouldn't be standing here as a cleaner, because what the government is busy saying is that there is NSFAS, there is this missing middle, whatever. But what about many South Africans out there who pass matric, but in our days they used to say they get an S, a school leaving. What about them? Because if free education was possible, those matriculants wouldn't just finish matric and stay at home, and they end up doing inyaupe and drugs and alcohol because they are frustrated. What about those that get an S, that are not as bright as all of you here who qualify, who get the university entry? What about them? Because they could go somewhere and study umsebenzi wezandla, or they go and get something if this free education was realized. So, comrades, I'm not going to be long. I'm sure, because the speaker said that they will open the floor. The workers, I'm sure you will speak to our demands on the campus, because we have to go now and welcome our comrade who was in a boat to Gaza. And I'm sure you've all heard, even in the media, their boat was detained. And we heard this morning that they were released, and she's landing now in the airport, and we're going to welcome her to show solidarity. Just a few of the demands that I want to bring to the table. As Buyane was saying, the workers here are the most exploited, were the most exploited. And I don't want to go to the history of where we started, where we couldn't use the gates. If you worked at West Campus, you had to enter from this side all the way to that side. And we couldn't use the toilets, and we couldn't eat everywhere here on the lawns. And we were allocated a small room where we used to leave our belongings, change your food, your bag, and everything in that small room, which was unventilated. It had no windows, and it smelled very bad. And we were expected to come at 10 during our lunchtime and during our tea time to go eat our food in that room that had sewage pipe running through it. And it was hot. It was smelling terrible, and we were not allowed to take our lunch boxes into the buildings where we work, because we were not allowed to use the microwaves, the kettles, and the stuff. So if I go to that history, I will start crying, and all of you will start crying here. So, but we have moved through the students, through the help of the students, we have moved from that exploitation, from that apartheid era. And they managed to get those rules abolished. And it happened that at the time, Habib Adam, was the incoming VC. And he is the one that heard what was happening, and he's the one that put a call to stop to all this exploitation. And by doing that, he thought that he had saved the world. And he used to bring it in our faces that I had stopped the exploitation, I allowed you to be free, you can move in the campus, you can use any toilet, you can sit anywhere. And he thought he had saved the world while we were still earning that 1,008 that Vianney was telling you about. And since the 2015 struggle, we have moved from the 1,000 pathetic salary. We are now on 6,000. And and the demands from the workers is that when they insource us, we had demanded 12.5. And what the university has budgeted and prepared for us is 7.5. Oh, we don't want that 7.5, we want 12.5. And also what has been happening here at campus, our workers are exploited. There's a huge amount of exploitation, and workers from the retail and from the maintenance side, they are getting paid via ShopRite, they don't get pay slips. As a result, they can't pay UIF, they don't have maternity, and it's still a mess. So we want the university to intervene, and also those workers, we want them insourced. And what we have seen as a growing trend is the companies are now targeting the worker leaders, those who are brave enough and come forward to speak. They've been victimized and they are without jobs. So we want a reinstatement of our worker leaders who are now sitting with no work at home. And recently what has happened at the Matrix, the people were fired for eating a bun. And we want a reinstatement of those workers as well. Yeah, it's happening, for eating a bun at work. So, it's terrible. So, I'm gonna leave it here, comrade. I hope the workers can also raise some of the other issues. Thank you, Amandla.
I will ask Hafela wa Mukhukhud. He's a lecturer here. He wants to render a serious poem. Thank you.
Amandla. Matla. Right tlhatlhoba batho ba tlhobaela. Right tlhatlhoba re senka tsela. Right tlhatlhoba batho ba tlhobaela. Right tlhatlhoba re senka tsela. Sale re belaela letsatsi go dutla mokola le kolomela masigo a re nela ra o tsela. Rautsela ra timelana metlhala ra lala re kobakobana le naga re ithonkgela ke re mantswe a shele ga re utlwane re tlotla ka ditlobolo re jwa ke go kgetla makgele re ja dikgobalo tlala ya re kalawela tlala ya re kalawela ra wela mebila ra wela nakameno ra kgolega ra relela re tekela diboko tafole ka go budulala re bona dibodu di ikala re dikile re likile go botsa dipotso phakela bo mathulamela mafureng ba re tenegela re bone maloba ba gela mantle mo tlung ke re bone maloba ba gela mantle mo tlung ka be re putukile ra latlhela kgakala nka be re putukile ra latlhela kgakala ba gana ka mantle ba tlampurela ra itlhatlhoba batho ba tlhobaela ra itlhatlhoba re senka tsela ra itlhatlhoba batho ba tlhobaela ra itlhatlhoba re senka tsela ke re kgopo e mabela e tla ikgopola tsela ikgopola re tima go e matarela tsela matlapa re kgopa kgotsa dilo re a di kašela di a re kubugela potso tsa bana di a imela di a re kubugela potso tsa bana di a imela ke re ruta bana ba mpa meropa re tsoge rotlhe re theogele re ikemele ka diteme re itoloke batho ba ratile gore tolokolla ke re ne re rumile mabodu tokollo ba ile lolololo kgotsa ka bobodu ba itsapile tsela kgotsa ba e fapogile tsela kgotsa ba e thobile tsela ya tuka tsela kgotsa le rona e tla re tukela ra itlhatlhoba batho ba tlhobaela ra itlhatlhoba re senka tsela ba se bulalela ntwana ba se banga lonke les ba se bulalela thubulela bantwana ba se bangane lonke balaola ngesepha balaola ngesepha balaola ngesepha balaola ngesepha balaola ngesepha balaola ngesepha amandla
Mandla. Comrades, we can't talk of decolonization without a cultural revolution. This is a cultural revolution. Black pride. We are rejecting whiteness. We are emancipating ourselves from mental slavery. Black pride. Setswana sibunolo. Thank you very much. We are going to ask Nehao to also speak to the issues of workers.
Amandla. Amandla. Away two. Away two. Qina mfundi qina. Qina mfundi qina. Qina msebenzi qina. Comrades, when we converged on Tuesday and we knew that death was waiting for us, we were aware that there were dogs waiting for us with rubber bullets, tear gas, and stun grenade. And when the incoming VC said to me, "We're gonna need human shield," I said, "Comrade, we might not have a very healthy past, but today I'm going to invite my fellow comrades. We're going to the front and we'll take the bullet on your behalf." Amandla. And it happened, comrade, as if they were joking. While we were marching slowly outside of the bridge, that white man, comrade, he hit the first stun grenade right here. And I thought he was kidding. I stood there. But he hit another 3, and I started running. Amandla. So, comrades, we have a pledge, because the General Assembly was about to pledging. We are here on behalf of the workers. And we had hoped that today, following the longest mediation session, which ended this morning at 2 a.m., it got 2 p.m., if it got 2 a.m. I think I got home at 2:45 this morning. And where students actually agreed, comrades. The student had agreed that this is going to happen. There was only one thing they requested, and I will tell you why they requested this. The students said, at no stage, ever since the protest started, had management come to us to say, let's talk. And all the students requested was, we will have the assembly. we will have the march, but can we please be listened to? And we supported the student and said, let's have those three today, because the students want that interaction, because there are a lot of internal issues, comrades. Amandla. So obviously it fell on deaf ears. And you can see the levels of arrogance, they are very extreme. No one consulted with anyone. When they got the words that says the workers agreed with the students that there will be these three happening today, they issued an email in the morning. We were shocked. We were shocked because it looks like it's only about them and not about the students. So here is a pledge, comrade. We now, on behalf of our members and workers at the university, address you not only as staff, but as parents and students ourselves. We solemnly pledge and commit ourselves today to the realization of free education now. We commit to holding ourselves and the university leadership accountable in making this a reality through concrete steps. Our goal is the same, a transformed, decolonialized, free education now. We include in our commitment the elimination of outsourcing and working towards a workplace where every person is afforded the dignity and the rights of our Constitution, irrespective of class, gender, or race. So, comrades, that is where our pledge ends. But comrades, now I like singing. Gubi, 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 oh, siaya, siaya. Gubi, 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 oh, siaya, siaya. No ma bese tubula, besi jaya, besi bopa. No ma bese tubula, besi jaya, besi bopa. No pambele.
Comrades, that was Nehao. We are now going to the last item, and then we will open the floor. This is a dialogue. That's what the former Vice-Chancellor ran away from. That man is a bully. That man is a dictator. When you listen to him, it's I did this, I called them, I. That's him. Comrades, our very own Dr. Lwazi Lushaba. When we were fighting, he was doctor. When he left here after fighting, he left with his professorship. He's now Professor Lwazi Lushaba. When he went to the University of Cape Town, he didn't go there and solve the revolution. He continued. He carried the mandate from here. He shook Whiteness there. Lwazi Lushaba.
Amandla!
spirit of Solomon Mahlangu, long live. Long live the spirit of Solomon Mahlangu, long live. Long live the spirit of Amalka Cabral, long live. Long live the spirit of Eduardo Mondlane, long live. Long live the spirit of Mwalimu Nyerere, long live. Amandla. Fellow black people, I thank you very much for this opportunity to converse with you about the experiences of black people in white institutions. You perhaps think that you know it being at Wits and Wits being a white institution. I want to bring you an experience from a thoroughgoing white institution called University of Cape Town. If you think that you have encountered whiteness at Wits, you only need to go to the University of Cape Town to know the arrogance and brutality of whiteness. In this country, black people constitute 86% of the population. At UCT, black South Africans constitute only 19% of the student population. That's a university in South Africa in 2016, where black people who, as we've said, constitute 86% of the population, there they only constitute 19%. Now there is a reason why UCT has maintained this. It's the same reason that Wits maintains whiteness in another form. It is that what has happened in South Africa, the task of intellectual production and the task of thinking has been made an exclusive preserve of white people. So that every time these institutions have to make an appointment, white people in one swan song sing and say that, but there are no black South Africans applying. So if UCT is not producing them, if Wits is not producing them, who has the responsibility to? So there is a deliberate project by these institutions to keep us out of the task of thinking and intellectual production, so that even our lives, our black lives, can get written about by white academics. And in that process, so they can turn our suffering and our existential misery into a commodity. Because what happens when they write about us, all kinds of things about us, Deep Sleuth, all kinds of books they write about black people, they then get promoted. But those about whom they are writing remain in their misery and squalor. So it means that our misery and squalor is a platform or is a step ladder for white academics to rise through these institutions. But it is not only that they want to use our misery for their own promotion. It is also that because they are accustomed to a situation where black people are spoken about, where black people do not speak for themselves, but they are spoken about. When we try to decolonize the teaching in these institutions and in our classrooms and bring black voices into these classrooms, we are told by these white institutions that we were not teaching, but we were mobilizing. And so it happens that at UCT, I invite RMF comrades into my politics class. Now, what is politics? It is precisely what we're doing here. But because they want me to teach about Weber, Marx, and all other European men, when I invite RMF activists to come and enlighten students about the process and the task of decolonizing the academy, UCT then responds by slamming me with a warning letter, claiming that what I did amounted to dereliction of duty. Now, the point is simply that these white institutions do not imagine or never prefigured a time when black academics would be standing in the classroom. That's the first problem. So I was told that that racist head of department called Anthony Butler, he claimed to have received complaints from students in my class. Now there's something I want to bring to the fore for you here. Why would a student in my class, when I'm present throughout, if he or she does not understand what is going on, why would the student jump me and go to speak to a white head of department? You know why? It is because I'm not real. I'm a proxy as a black academic standing in front of them. I'm transparent. They can see through me. So they expect me to perform a certain role that otherwise appropriately belongs to a white person. And so what I had done was basically to refuse to perform that role as they had expected. And the white students who complained, knew very well that they wouldn't have to do any convincing, because as white people, as a white student talking to a white head of department, they are both agreed on the project of keeping black people out of the academy. So what is happening here is not just an incident, about relations between a junior academic and a senior academic. It is that these white institutions that have normalized a certain norm, that have made whiteness a norm, will do everything possible to ensure that they defend that norm. And white people do not need a mass meeting. They do not need a workshop to convince each other. The project is common to them. They all subscribe to it. So for us, when we encounter them or when we confront whiteness, we confront an institution that also has agents. Between the institutional culture and the institution and these agents, there is unanimity on what needs to be done. It is precisely that we have to disrupt. The task of decolonizing the higher education institutions in this country, the task of decolonizing the curriculum in this country, simply means that we have to break this unholy alliance between white academics and white institutions. We have to remind them that these institutions are funded by the taxes that are paid by the poor black people in this country. It is our mothers and our fathers who every day pay VAT that sustain these institutions. These institutions are a common good. So they must behave in a manner that is reflective of the aspirations of this country. So why is it that these institutions simply refuse to do a simple thing? I would have expected vice chancellors in this country to say that it seems like society has moved ahead of us. It seems like students in South Africa have diagnosed the problems of this country better than we have done. So let us simply join forces with them and make this a society where we can all cohabit. But for some inexplicable reason, Max Price at UCT, Habib Adam at Wits, and other vice-chancellors have taken on a role that does not belong to them. Why are you defending government? You are not government. Simply step aside if it's hard to join us and say that government provide us with resources so that we can educate the nation. Now you have professors who head these institutions who supposedly are an epitome of thinking, from whom we must see creativity. And they are very loud when they have to criticize government for its intellectual poverty. They are very loud when they have to point the intellectual poverty of the government. But in the way in which they have responded to genuine protests, we haven't seen any difference between them and this anti-black government that we have. So when they criticize government when it responds violently to service delivery protest, what is different between that and what they are doing? So it means that if this country has a leadership problem, that leadership problem is not confined to the political realm. These institutions themselves are settled by a serious problem of leadership crisis. We need, at the head of these institutions, people who can display capability for thought. People who can display capability for creatively imagining a different society than the unjust society that we live in today. Now, it would seem to me that, unfortunately, there is no difference, as we've said, between the anti-black government we have and the heads of these institutions, the professors who are supposed to be, the epitome of thinking, because they respond with violence also when we protest. It means that they agree with government that the only way in which you can converse with black people is through violence because they are objects. Now, it's been centuries since discourse constructed us as black people, as people who are available for all kinds of dispensability. You can dispense with black people, you shoot 36 of them or 39 of them in Marikana and life moves on. Because black people are many and dispensable. You shoot them in the institutions of higher learning and life continues. They must just realize that at the base of our struggles, we are asking for a simple thing. We also want to be human. Just as it is that if those 36 miners were white, we know what would have happened. We also know that if many of the students who are protesting, if they were white, we wouldn't have seen this police brutality that we are seeing. The simple reason why that has not happened is because we are not considered human. So at the heart of our struggles, we want to be human in our own country. We haven't gone to any other person's country to ask for this. We are asking for it in our own country. What is justice then if it's not that? So, as we continue with these struggles, I think that we can borrow a leaf from those who have struggled before us. In Tanzania, when Mwalimu Nyerere led the people of Tanzania, he insisted that freedom was going to be meaningless unless it was freedom accompanied by education. He insisted that freedom was going to be empty if freedom was not accompanied by work. So the Tanzanians declared freedom and work, freedom and education, freedom and wealth, freedom and culture as the cardinal principles of their struggle. We want to be a cultured people. It can't be that in a country where we are a majority, our cultures anywhere in the program appear somewhere towards the end. It's one rendition. And then after that, we return to the norm of whiteness. It must be the other way round. Whiteness must feature as a footnote in our lives. It has been too long. It has been too long with us going through an education that alienates us from our languages. It's been too long that we've gone through an education system that alienates us from our people. It's been too long that we've gone through an education system that alienates us from our cultures, such that when we've graduated at Wits, at UCT, for no reason but because we hold that piece of paper that certifies us as people who've gone through Western education, we then think that we have a license to speak ill of our cultures. We then begin to speak ill of those we've left behind. We say they have not evolved, they are not modern enough. These are generations that brought us up. These are generations that make it possible for us to be where we are. All of a sudden, when we've gone through Wits and UCT, we think that they are backward. So we want an education system that does not suggest that you have to come into Wits from Alex, from Soweto, but when you live here, you go to the white suburbs. You leave behind your own people. When you go to the white suburbs, whose problems are you going to solve? White people's problems? They don't have problems. So we want an education system that will infuse us with enthusiasm and energy to go back to Soweto, to Alex, to resolve problems that we left behind there. Because there will be something wrong when at the end of your 4-year degree at Wits at UCT, you begin to think that that kind of existence is not fit for you. If it's not fit for you, who is it fit for? It means that if you say it's not fit for you, there are black people that should go through that existence, but not you. What distinguishes you from those people? It is that you aspire to whiteness. But we know very well that it doesn't matter how hard you try. It doesn't matter what effort you put in. Whiteness will always elude you. At an appropriate moment, white people will remind you that you are trying so hard. At an appropriate moment, white people are going to say to you, why is it that black people, but I don't mean you, I mean black people. And so we must not forsake our people. We must remain one with our people. We must never forsake our cultures and begin to speak ill of our cultures. We must end this education. Black people in this country have no wealth. You know the only wealth they have? It's you and I. We provide them with the only hope and possibility. If we let them down, no one else is going to help them out of this misery. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor. Thank you. Thank you very much. Amandla. Thank you very much, Professor. Thank you once again for speaking to us. You know, because these walls here, universities from their inceptions, they were never meant for us. They are a colony. When you come here, you are colonized again. By the time you live here, you have forgotten who you are. By the time you live here, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? No, doc, I know, I don't mean, no. You know what I mean, doc, you know. That's the danger of this space. You know, that's the danger of this space. Some of us who were lucky and we went to white schools, we had to first reject the language and the accent and decolonize ourselves. When we came to this space, we rejected, you know what I'm saying? You know, we rejected that. That was the process. It's a process of accepting blackness and who you are. We refused the assimilation. Sometimes when I tell people the school I went to, we are lying. You can't be speaking like this. Then I leave them like that. Thank you very much, Professor Lushab. We are going to give our very own Catherine to read some of the demands that were formulated, and the incoming president will speak after, and then we will allow the House to speak to the demand, add to the demand, speak of black pain. Here, there is no censorship. You speak from the heart. There is no censorship. And we would also like to speak to the progressive white professors, because they are progressive white professors. And we say to them, thank you very much, and preach the gospel of being progressive. We are not here, we are not against white people. We are just for blackness. We are just pushing black power as well. Only nervous white people will be uncomfortable in this gathering. But the progressive white people, they understand the language we speak. We are against white supremacy and black inferiority. That's all we are doing here. We are not undermining whiteness, but we are pushing for black superiority, to say, hack. Comrades, we had invited Umama Winnie to come here and address us. We receive a call that her health doesn't allow. When she was on her way here, the evil forces, then her health degenerated. Winnie Mandela, Mama Womkondo. Winnie Mandela, Mama Womkondo. Ngwinedwa kumama, uyeyedwa umama wethu. Uyeyedwa umama, uyeyedwa umama wethu. Winnie Mandela, mama womkhondo. Winnie Mandela, mama womkhondo wethu. Uyeyedwa umama, uyeyedwa umama wethu. Uyeyedwa umama, uyeyedwa umama wethu. Lilian Boy, mama womkhondo. Lilian Boy, mama womkhondo. Uyeyedwa umama, uyeyedwa umama wethu. Charlotte Makhele, mama womkhondo. Charlotte Makhele, mama womkhondo. Uyeyedwa umama, uyeyedwa umama wethu. Helen Joseph, mama womkhondo. Helen Joseph, mama womkhondo. Uyeyedwa umama, uyeyedwa umama wethu. Uyeyedwa umama, uyeyedwa umama wethu. Mandla, Catherine.
Amandla! Amandla! Sofuna ngenkani vumani bo. Sofuna ngenkani vumani bo. Sofuna mahala vumani bo. She's a leader, no woman, no cry. She's a leader. She's a leader. She's a leader. Oh, so Zabalaza, Zabalaza, Zabalaza. Oh, Zabalaza, Zabalaza, Zabalaza. So Zabalaza, Zabalaza, Zabalaza. So Zabalaza, Zabalaza, Zabalaza. Sara Mukweo, no Umanukra. She's a leader, no Umanukra. Shaira Kala, no Umanukra. She's a leader, no Umanukra. Oh, so Zabalaza, Zabalaza, Zabalaza. So Zabalaza, Zabalaza, Zabalaza. So Zabalaza, Zabalaza, Zabalaza. So Zabalaza, Zabalaza, Zabalaza. Amanda! Amanda! Comrades, mine is always very simple. We know I'm very short and sweet and to the point. But before I go into giving you the internal demands and the external demands that the former VC Habib Adam ran away from when he was running away from this assembly. We must make it a very serious point that Fees Must Fall is not only an intersectional movement, but we are very protective of our Mbokotos in this movement. We will not allow, under any circumstances, for any comedian, any radio host, or anyone to ridicule black bodies, black female bodies in this space. It will not be allowed. We must be very clear to this man of Skumba, whatever his name is. He must understand that there's a reason why he's on radio and not TV. He must fix himself first. He must fix himself first. Hands off our female bodies. We will not allow any patriarchs who don't even have a sense of hygiene to ridicule the black bodies in this space. Comrades, Fees Must Fall is an intersectional movement that comprises of queer bodies, that comprises of anyone and everyone that deserves to be in the space and that believes in the call for free decolonized education. We will not allow our black sisters to be ridiculed when they decide to protest in an unconventional manner according to society. If they have not noted, to those that continue to ridicule the black women who protest in somewhat unconventional ways, we are saying they're unconventional for you. They're excessive for you. We are going to move forward in the way that we deem fit. If we want to run around Wits University and the country naked, we don't want to hear any patriarch telling us otherwise. Hands off our bodies. Hands off our bodies, comrades. I'm going to go into the list of demands now. Essentially, what had occurred was we had a list of internal demands and we had a list for external demands, so a national demand list, right? Where we tabled to the university how we would like them to become involved in the national plan for free decolonized education. So now, lotata wenu, kubani Habib Adam. Essentially, ubalekela uba agaqondi. You know, on the Tetis Xhosa and Tetis Venda, I'm going to speak all of them, right? Because this is a decolonial space. We're going to decolonize. Even the announcement of demands must be decolonized. So ngoku sithi ku Adam, uHabib Adam, sithi kuye jonga tata man. Jonga nomzana jonga man. Sithi kuye ingxaki nansi ne, sithi kuye nansi ingxaki. So internally ne phakathi apha endlini yakho ne, kushushu ne, iyathi indlu. Jonga tisixelele uba ithabi indlu. So kwazi ulungisa kaloku uyabo. Sithi kuye jonga iRes yase PKV ne EOH. Ufuna uyisusela ntoni? Uzababeka phi abantwana abasusayo elo res? Sithi kuye ke uHabib sithi sithi thina awuzuyisusa iPKV ne-EOH. We are not going to allow you to demolish this residence. Hayi ke athi lo bhuti. Athi ke lo bhuti hayi no jonga sisi. Ati jonga no Mimi, it's not a problem, that one. What else are the demands? Sithi kuye jonga, it's unacceptable uba 7,000 students are currently in financial debt, which means that they will not be able to write the exams. Sithi thina kuye, hayi man bhuti, ithi khawususa le intoni i-debt, khawucleare i-debt abantwana bazokwazi ubhala. Athi ke lo bhuti, hayi andiniva kahle, we're going to lose money. Dithi we are losing money already right now, we're going to lose students, black bodies in this place. Athi kaloku mna ndingenaphi, I'm not exactly black, yabo. Hi man, try the conversation. Kaloku, you know, I'm relaying the conversation to you. Hi ke, sipinde city, okay ke bhuti Habib Adam. City, okay nansenye ke. City, sifuna ukuba nini sijoin, you know, siproteste nisonke, sihambeni sonke. Ni apply for na ku constitutional court, you know, for class action suit, you know, against the government. Athi you Thixo. uthi Thixo abelungu bam bazawuthini? Uthi abelungu bazawuthini xa ngoku ndibayisa e-constitutional court. Dithi mna arijeni yanepo rine. Rori rine rekonyaga nisa babathu angekho tuthi. Richi swika angekho thi. Rekonyaga ni babudzo rekonyaga free decolonized education zwino. Hayi machelo rekonyaga zwino thi. Richi hamba zwezwo. Radobaramba naye thi. Radobaramba naye Habibu thi. Rarikaye Habibu dono sedza pa mali. Ati inu nidzula kha echila chidzulu echila chauna ndimine zvitu chairperson ya VC dzothe apa South Africa. Tira rikaene nichidzula nepo nichitangana nabo next week. Nibabudza uri rikobabudza rine ribaye pasi batangana nabana bachikoro. Badokona uri batwe nabana bachikoro bachi protest ati ribabudza. I call you Habibi waone. Ari Habibi nandi abashaba babathu. Tidobabudzisa hani uri bade pasi bado protest na the student. Okay. So are shebeng sentle. Are tseneng mo ganyi ya rona. Are tseneng ka mo gare baithuti. Yanong baithuti ntwe ke tlo etsang hona bianong. Ke gore ke tla lebelella ke tla thoma ka di national demand tsa rona gore re ritse re batla eng sentle le gore re nyaka byang ke tla thoma mo a ke fetsa fetella mo ke tla bua ka di internal demands and then re tla bulela ntlo gore e bue ra bona yanong it notes this the Wits fees must fall movement demands we have one demand. The Fees Must Fall movement demands that the University of the Witwatersrand should support the national struggle for free, decolonized education for all. Now, it seems like a very simple one demand, but it's got conditions attached to it. You know, T's and C's apply, VC. T's and C's apply. By support, what we mean is the university should officiate a shutdown until the government of South Africa makes not a commitment. We don't want commitments. We want it to be legislation that we have free decolonized education now. We want the university to commit to shut down until the government makes it legislation that we have free decolonized education. The same way they announced the passing of former President Nelson Mandela is the same way they will announce free decolonized education now. The other condition that is attached to this is that the university and the vice-chancellor should march with the Fees Must Fall movement to the provincial and national sites of government. If we say to you, Habibi, Molinding, Ariera, Aratsamaye, Ria Pitori, Ria National Treasury. Are batlo go tla nwe a ke gone go ya nwe ke tshaba mang re batla go bona o le kopile ke ntshwane re bua re batla le tsamae le rona re ye ko teng mo re batlang go ya teng cause ra e batla free decolonized education On top of that, another condition was that the university uses its position as chair of universities in South Africa to call on all vice-chancellors to commit similarly to other and various campuses. Rebata ailo walentatole ke mang ke price. Max price le mang Rensburg. Libo Rensburg ibona bao. Rebata aba blelle gore bona. Ke re bana ba sekolo ga ba le kopi. Ba le blella gore you are going to be at the forefront with us when we march to our provincial and national sites. Ha re tlo feleletsa re re. Kataba ya legislation la batse ba ke re batho ba golomente la batse ba ke re government ya rona bo plate ba nka ra ga ba tlhapi go seng la batse ba ke re a re gutleleng tabeng a ke re ke bua ka sefatlego man le mone mo sefatlegong ka re ga go fete sesepa man ka re sesepa ga se fete mole Yanong, with regards to, so I don't say ya legislation, ne? ntho e re tsebang sentle fela ke gore ba tla re bolella gore no re tlo etsa legislation will make sure that we make it legislation that we have free decolonized education. So yaanong rona we've put a clause, just an additional clause to the university to say, should the legislative and executive So essentially what we said was, should the legislative and executive branches of the government fail to deliver free decolonized education for all, the university will file a class action against the government at the Constitutional Court. So essentially, ha re kopa Habibi gore a etse ntho e re kopang, ha batle, and like a re tlhaloganye why a sa batle. Bothata ba gagwe o re yena it's an registration at the beginning of the year. For maintenance and to pay the lecturers and so forth. Re require a constitutional court. Increase our subsidies for universities so that students don't have to pay, for an example, international students don't have to pay a levy when they come and register. That we decrease that we have at the moment. Hi, Repaletse Habal. Habibi Wahan. The last condition that we have is that the university, as chair of universities of South Africa, should task all vice chancellors to do away with the levy instituted against international African students. Ke kopa go le tlotlela hle bathong. Ngicela ukuntshela indaba emnandi. So, maskul mangale levy. Le levy kahle kahle la isuka khona ukuthi ama international students mabefika la. Nabo up front. Levy is that the state doesn't know what levy. It's not legislative policy. It is not. It's basically just the universities taking money from international students, right? So now we need to be able to deal with such things because we have all come to the agreement that we are all African brothers. Africa belongs to us. We are Zambia, the same privileges that we have. We need to be able to afford our counterparts the same privilege. And the first steps to doing that is by removing these things of levy and the 75% upfront free payment that they cannot afford already. Some of them are coming from countries like Somalia where there aren't any universities. It's not like they want to be here or it's fun in South Africa. It's not about that. It's about the fact that they are also in a struggle of their own and we need to also be accommodative of that struggle. Amandla comrades. Amandla comrades. Let us not forget, comrades, that our internal demands are very important at the same time. Although we are waging a national struggle in solidarity and in alliance with other institutions around the country, we must also remember that we have to fix our own house internally. So as we're about to begin the discussion, comrades, we have already noted the internal demands and we have been circulating those internal demands around, but we need the final check from you as students. There might be things that leadership has missed, there might be things that are not added onto the list, or there might be things that need to be removed. That is the process that we are going to engage in robustly here. Essentially, since the university does not want to come down, since management does not want to come down, we are going to management via their TV screens, right? That's how we're going to get to them. So let the country not say that we are irrational. Let them not say that we do not want to engage. We are standing here saying we are engaging. Everyone is here. The bishops are here, the professors are here, people in government are here, but the university itself is not here. That should also bring to light this kind of seriousness that this institution has with regards to free decolonized education. Adam Habib prides himself in saying when he was a youth, right? I wonder what time that was. Uti, when he was part of the youth, he used to be part of protest and he used to be actively involved in the struggle. Now, when our VC, Bodlamini, speaks about how we need to check this man's degree, we also need to check to see if really he was an activist the way he champions himself to be. Because this is how this man is making it on TV and being a political analyst. Because he says, I was part of the revolution, I was protesting, ducking bullets, running stun grenades. You know, une drama man, Habib Nyamas, une drama Nyamas. So Uti, I understand the call that the students are making. And we're saying to the Vice Chancellor, if you really understand that call, let us use your expertise. Now you have previous experience. Bring that experience here to the ground and let's move with you on that experience. Amanda, comrades. Ours, comrades, is not to be deterred under any circumstances. It is very humbling. As I was sitting there at some point in time, I started crying, and I hope comrades didn't see me. But I started crying because I am humbled by not only the black love that is in this place, but also the black solidarity that is here, comrades. They will try and tire us out. Come Monday, we don't know what they have planned, and we don't care, basically, because ours is to move forward and to move forward in solidarity, comrades. We will be going to other institutions over the weekend to make sure that we coordinate with institutions like UP, TUT, Soshanguve, VUT. We are going to make it work, comrades. We are moving here. This is a revolution, and the revolution will not wait for Adam Habib to come down from his tower. Amanda, Amanda. Siyaya, wenyamazane, siyaya. Siyaya bo, siyaya, wenyamazane kuye, wenyamazane siyaya bo, kibela siyaya, wenyamazane siyaya bo, kugute, wenyamazane siyaya bo, akibela. Wenyamazane siyaya bo, wenyamazane ngibela, ile to siyaya, ile to siyaya, wenyamaz ile to ile to siyaya, wenyamazane siyaya bo, wenyamazane gugude. Wenyamazane siyaya bo, akugude, ile to, yeah, ile to siyaya, wenyamaz, ile to, ile to siyaya, wenyamaz, Amanda, Amanda. Sofuna ngekali vumali bo. Sofuna ngekali vumali bo.
Amanda, qina mfundi, qina. Qina msebenzi, qina. Qina mfundisi, qina. Qina mfundisi, qina. Thank you very much, comrades. The Vice Chancellor, I don't know what's happening. Maybe there's a disease with this term of Vice Chancellor. He's disappeared here. Vice Chancellor, you must come here. Comrades, we can't not have the incoming SRC president speak. And I want to speak to this because, you know, if we're self-critiquing and we claim to be decolonial, even within our movement, we must unite all the time. It has taken us very long to unite. We fight, but at the end we remember that we are black first. And comrades, we have put political parties aside. We have been able to say, this is our generational mission. That's why in this campus, we are very alarmed when we hear that this party is hitting this party. Because that thing should not happen. People must engage. People must win ideas, not this thing of fighting. Equally, the incoming president is going to speak when people are hungry and tired. So I'm warning him not to get into a trap where he speaks and then suddenly people go, and it looks like blessings are coming. Rain is coming. Amanda. I see there's also the president in the presence of Advocate Dalimbofu. I just want to acknowledge him in the room. Now I understand. Why the vice chancellor went out. He went to go fetch Advocate Dalimbofu. Comrades, these are the parents. These are the members of society that have stood with us when the university persecuted us. That have stood with us when the university kicked us out of university. Today, I stand here in front of you as Vuyani Pambo, who has a lawyer. I can call someone who's a senior counsel. Never in my wet dreams did I think I could call an SC. I had never thought in my life I can say to advocate, there are students who are arrested, assist. He will say I'm in court and I say I don't care. I want those students not to sleep in. And we thank you very much, advocate. That is the kind of support that we need. Israelites were winning in the world. Now we're asking our parents to do the same. Don't be put against your children. We are asking you, and this assembly speaks to that. Some people say an assembly was postponed. Quite frankly, if you ask me, I am very glad that Adam Habib showed his true colors, because people thought we were lying. Let us deal with the first myth. He says that we did not agree. If that was the case, I don't know, maybe Nkebo can explain. I don't know how much this TED costs. I don't know how much these chairs. I've never spoken in a PA system that is so powerful. I have never. This was organized by the university to show that the plans were in action. To prove that this thing was supposed to happen. There is a stage here. There is an emblem officiating that we are congregating by the law of the university. Then they decide to address us from 11th floor. So if you are still unsure whether or not this is an assembly, you are definitely in the right place. You are in the imbizo that was supposed to happen. The only thing that is happening is that Makwala Achechi. So comrades, I see that hunger has kicked in and that you are not cheering as much as you should be cheering. But I pray that you will cheer enough for leadership here, so that also when he speaks, the spirit comes out and he tells us the truth of what is happening in this university. Amanda, welcome on stage or on the mic, this person of Mkari. Amanda.
Thank you very much.
Mandla. Comrades, the president has asked me to bless him with a song. Aundea, ndea, wemolo, wemolo. Awemolo, wemolo. Awemolo, wemolo. Molo. Aundea, ndea, wemolo, wemolo. Awe molo, awe molo, Katsuwa usengi gisina watwane, arigita mayani wena. Awe molo, Katsuwa usengi gisina watwane. Oh,
spirit of defiance forward. Mayibuye. Mayibuye. Long live the spirit of Stipiko, long live. Long live the spirit of Kwame Nkrumah, long live. Long live the spirit of Julius Nyerere, long live. Long live the spirit of Patrice Lumumba, long live. Comrades, I call on all these names because fees must fall has once again brought a smile upon them. Fees must fall is an umbrella body for black unity and resistance. Today, when we look at each other, we don't see young and old. We don't see Christian and otherwise. We don't see female and male. All we see is black people. And that is why this revolution is important. And that is why we must protect this revolution at all costs. This is the revolution that the black people of this country, from the ages of our forefathers who suffered from slavery, have been waiting for. This is the true freedom. And they are scared of this because they know that it's going to bring back our land. They are scared of this because they know that it's going to bring back power where it belongs, to the people. Comrades, I am very humbled and honored by your loyalty to this movement. Yes. And I am not here to speak long. Speakers have spoken. Kila akali. I would like to first acknowledge the presence of Bakamedi Waro, our bishops. I would like to acknowledge the presence of the academics. I would like to acknowledge the presence of the media and hope today they will repent and tell the truth. I would like to acknowledge the presence of our parents who have ensured that this day happens. The likes of Tatuta Lumpofu, Tatem Seneke, and all others. Yesterday when we were in that meeting, I told them one thing, that I am a boy from the rural areas, and I was privileged enough to attend there's this congregation called Lekhotla la Mushad. That's why when I speak, I take off my head to show respect. To our parents who are here, who have been with us from day one till today, who have been hungry with us, who have been in the sun with us, who have ducked bullets with us, who have suffered from tear gas with us, we thank you very much. It's very humbling. To you, the students, the most important people of this university. Yes. If we were to leave today, Wits University won't be a university. Yes. To all of you, I would like to say, Khotso. Yes. Comrades, I'm not here to speak. Speakers have spoken. I am only here to do one thing. I want to show them the power of this movement. I want to show them the power of black unity. We speak of decolonization. Today they will see a miracle through this fees must fall. Today it will rain because of fees must fall. We want to show them that fees must fall is not only concerned with the state of the country on the political level, but is concerned with the state of the country all across. The drought that has been in this country for so many years will stop today. But before I do that, comrades,
Before I do that, comrades, since this is a decolonial space, allow me to formally introduce myself to you. Mina ni Kefenzi, waka Mkhari, n'wana mongo exituku xa hlupheka. Ni xilumani ni ngwenya nkelenge n'wana mamfun'wana. Loko xi nghena matini nyoka xi teka xipenyoni. Comrades, I am very humbled by the black unity, the black love. And today we want to show them the power of our black God. Bishops, today the rain is going to rain. Comrades, allow me, comrades, to call on rain in an African way. Ula! Ula! Ula!
Thank you very much, President. This is the president, incoming SRC president. Is our president. Thank you, President. Comrades, the assembly continues. Now, we had Amandla, the team of former black leaderships here. We who were engaged in the negotiations, who met with the university trying to ensure that this process take place. They are here, and the university is not here. All the team that was put into place is here. Only the university pulled out. They pulled out alone. They raised security threats. I don't know who would want to kill Habib Adam. And kill him for what? You know, you know, some people, they think highly of themselves. What security threat would it be to Habib Adam? Self-importance. Comrades, I am going to allow the advocate, a former leader in this institution, to also assist us with a way forward legally, because we also look at the legal implications of this matter. We don't want to be found wanting. We first look at it legally, then we attack politically, so that we know that we are clear. The road is clear, they won't try any shenanigans. Comrades, there is one thing that I would like also to emphasize here. The reason why we are pushing for the struggle for free decolonized education, we also want to empower the former Bantu education universities. There is no way in which Wits University will be glorified as a prestigious university when University of Limpopo is a ghost town. There is no way in which University of Cape Town will be glorified as Ivory Towers and Fort Hare is undermined. There is also no way in which University of Pretoria will be glorified and TUT is undermined because there are a lot of blacks there. We can't afford University of KwaZulu-Natal, Howard, to be glorified, and Mangosu today is also undermined. We are calling for restoration of the dignity of the Bantustan universities. We are saying to government, give the status of Wits University to TEFLOP. Give the status of Wits University to University of Venda. We are saying give the status of Wits University to Mangosuthu University, so that the ground is level, so that black intellectuals can go anywhere, so that we don't come here to sleep in toilets for better education. KZN people, there will be no reason to leave Kwamashu to sleep in a toilet here. If Mangosuthu had the same status, people from nobody, Lebuwa Homo, Zanini, Bela Bela, there will be no reason to come here if University of Limpopo had the same status of teaching and learning and research the same way as University of Witwatersrand. People from Tuchwa, Kofimvaba, Lusigisigi, Matatiele, there will be no reason to come here because you would have went to Fort Hare if Fort Hare had the same status as Wits University. Why then does the black government continue to segregate black bright minds according to regionalism? Bantustan still exists in South Africa. While we talk of free education, we must also speak of the status of the former Bantustan universities. That's an urgent demand. And we expect academics, we expect journalists, when they interview the former communist, Blade in demand, to explain why we still have TEFLOP, Univen, Fort Hare, Mangosuthu still having the status of being Bantustan universities. As Wits University, we will provide leadership where there is none. In this country, there is no leadership. That's why 17 universities are closed and it's business as usual. 17 institutions of higher learning are closed. There is cocktail parties. Parliament is operating as normal. People are doing as it pleases. They meet business people. There is no agents. The only thing that we are told, a certain Kwede Mandashe yesterday, he said that free education is not possible. We are saying this is our response to him. Free education is very much possible. The only thing is that the government of the day must prioritize free education. You can't have 72 cabinet ministers. For what? Germany with a GDP 3 times that of ours, they have 17 cabinet ministers. South Africa, we have 72 useless bodies. You can't as a country prioritize a nuclear deal. There was no commission of a nuclear deal, but there is a commission for free education. It's a matter of priorities. The money is there. There is no commission for aeroplanes, SAA. You invest in aeroplanes. Who is using the aeroplanes because we are poor? The reason the aeroplanes are not generating profit is because there are not enough black graduates who are going there to be skilled labor so that we can use the aeroplanes. Invest in education, then we will be able to use the aeroplanes. The government want to start with something that they have to end with. Give us education, then you say we have a lot of graduates. Graduates must travel, you stay in Joburg, you work in Cape Town, you stay in Joburg, you work in Polokwane. Then we need aeroplanes. Now we want free education, then we will talk about aeroplanes. It's a matter of priorities. We are going to demand free, quality, decolonized education because we can see that it is very much possible. There is only a lack of political will. Ekyo Baba Fonda Mahala. Mzansi Afrika siyabhadala. Ekyo Baba Fonda Mahala. Mzansi Afrika siyabhadala. Come and join namntwanam. Sikhona isibhamu sokushaya amabhunu. Come and join namntwanam. Sikhona isibhamu sokushaya amabhunu. Ekyo Baba Fonda Mahala. South Africa siyabhadala. Ekyo Baba Fonda Mahala. South Africa siyabhadala. Come and join namntwanam. Sikhona isibhamu sokushaya amabhunu.
Come and join namntwana. Join isibhamu sokushaya amabhunu. Chio, mama, Chio. Comrades, let me teach you a song. Ewuteni westelela ganga, kaubabuze. Ewuteni westelela ganga, iyo kaubabuze. It's Itali mpopo, iyo kaubabuze. It's Itali mpopo, kaubabuze. Awingada bayega ganja, iyo kaubabuze. Uhapipu bamuyega ganja, iyo kaubabuze. It's Itali mpopo, iyo kaubabuze. It's Itali mpopo, iyo kaubabuze. Abafundi bazoboshwa kanja, iyo kaubabuze. You plenty estelela ganga, iyo kaubabuze. It's Itali mpopo, kaubabuze. It's Itali mpopo, kaubabuze. Ewuteni bestelela ganga, kaubabuze. Ewuteni bestelela ganga, kaubabuze. Aweta awubabuze uwapipi estelela kangaka awubabuze uwapipi wastelela kangaka awubabuze awetali mpopo awubabuze awetali mpopo awubabuze amandla
Thank you very much, Program Director. Our Vice Chancellor in waiting, or is he Vice Chancellor now? Okay, and the other leaders, and you are all leaders here because you are students at this very, very important university. Amandla, our bishops, other stakeholders who are here, labor, academics, and the student leadership. First of all, I want to thank you for coming and gathering here today. The fact that you have spent a full day here shows that you regard the education of our children as very, very important. Amandla. Amandla. Now, I said, I just want to take you through a very short journey of how we got here to this assembly today. On Tuesday this week, when it became clear that there was a lot of trouble here on campus, some of the student leaders called us to come and assist as much as we can. In fact, when they called us, it was almost like a suicide mission because they said, the police are shooting us, please become our human shields. So I think that's why not many people came that day. But those of us who came found the situation very, very tense here. We met the students. I want to tell this story because it's very important on this question of violence. We met the students on the West Campus. I spoke to the students there for a few minutes. And I said what I'm repeating here. I said I'm not here wearing any political hat. I'm here as a concerned South African. I'm here as a former leader of this institution, as a student leader here. I was the president of the Black Student Society here in 1985 and 1986. The last time I addressed students in these library lawns was in 1986, before we were arrested during the state of emergency. And I came here capacity. In fact, just to give you perspective, in 1986, when we were given the list of general assemblies or university assemblies that took place in this university, I saw a list. It had 9 such assemblies. Then I thought I should remember these ones that happened in the mid-80s. And there was one which was held on the 18th of August, 1986. It was about detentions. And I was wondering, I said to some of my fellow leaders, why don't I remember this particular assembly? And somebody said, no, that's because that assembly was held for your release when you and other student leaders were in detention. So the culture of vibrant student activism on this campus is not something of today. It is something that started when some of us had required ministerial consent to be at this university, when this was supposed to be a so-called white university. And what we say is that the university must transform itself not just by the numbers of the black students that are here, but by the culture, by shedding away the colonial culture of those days and making this place very accessible in various ways to black students, to poor students, and to students who come from rural areas. So what we are about here was that, what we're about this week was that when we joined the students, we then agreed shortly thereafter that we would come and congregate on the East Campus. We walked, some of you were there, we walked through the tunnel up here to come to this side of the campus. And as we were entering at the gate on Yale Road, the police shot us with rubber bullets, with stun grenades, and with tear gas, completely unprovoked. And I said that I came here so that I could see for myself, so that we don't get secondary accounts from the media. I was very angry. The following day, I saw a report that came, I think it was EWN, is the news agency, if they're here. And that report said that at such and such a time, Advocate Mpofu joined the students, they walked up the street, and then the students threw stones at the police, and then the police shot at the students. That is a lie. So that is what is happening. Millions of South Africans would like to believe that the people who are asking for free decolonized education is just a small bunch of hooligans. Well, first of all, by the numbers that are here, we can see that it's not a small number. Amandla. And by the discipline that we see here, we can see that you are also not hooligans. Amandla. And that is why when we intervened on Tuesday, I then came with my fellow leaders of the Black Student Society here, presidents and other comrades, and we joined the student leadership that was marching to Hillbrow Police Station for the release of the comrades who were arrested. After securing that arrest, we came here and we addressed the student and we said, we are going to play a role because you have requested us to do so. But unlike other mediators, we are not neutral. We are intervening on the side of the weak. We are intervening from the basis that free decolonized education is possible. As between the students and the administration, yes, we could play a neutral role to mediate. But on the key questions of what needs to be done, it was very important for us to put our colors to the mast. And that is why everything we did under the banner that free education is possible. Free education? Free education? When is it possible? Now. When is it possible? Amandla. So when we then left the student gathering, we went directly to the 11th floor. And fortunately, I must tell you this, as it happened, the Friday before that Tuesday, I received a call from Professor Adam Habib. I was sitting in my office, minding my own business, and I got a phone call from him, and he said, I saw you were representing the students in court the other day. What can we do to assist the situation? So I came here not just at the invitation of the student leaders, but also at the invitation of Professor Adam Habib. And that is why we felt emboldened to go to the 11th floor and say to him, the students, the biggest cry that we're hearing from the students is that you as their leader, you as the person who's their parent in the place of their parents, are not visible. They only see you on television and they would like to talk to you. And we thought that was a reasonable demand. We then agreed that on Friday, which is today, a general assembly will be held today. Secondly, we said for us to maintain the issue of peace on campus, the police must leave campus. This is an academic place of learning and not a place for policemen whose academic credentials were not very sure of. As somebody said, we know how difficult it is to qualify to get to this university. You cannot qualify by just taking a tear gas canister and a rubber bullet thing and then just walk in here. So that was our first request to the admin. The police must leave campus. They said, well, if the police are going to leave campus, then the students must undertake that there will be no violent protest. And I then told them the story that I told you, that the violent protest, as you call it, is the students. Yes, they did throw stones at the police. I saw them, but they did so after they had been shot at without any reason. So I said, if you really want peace on campus, the only thing you have to do is to withdraw the police. They agreed to that. We then said, it is not possible. We need the next 48 hours so that we can foster dialogue on campus, building up towards the General Assembly. And for that to happen, the thing that makes, the second thing apart from the police presence that is making the students to be agitated is the fact that other people are in class. We then said, we asked for the 2 days, Thursday and Wednesday and Thursday, and today, the 3 days, that the academic program should be suspended. That was a very difficult negotiation. But eventually, we managed to get the admin to agree to that. That opened the space for us to then build up to this day. What happened is that the student leadership, yesterday was a crunch day. I must here credit the university administration because we had very difficult discussions with them as to how the pledge what was supposed to be read here should read. And for example, their initial stance was that it must say that we support free education for the poor and the so-called missing middle. And we said, no, we must have a firm statement on free education. After a lot of discussion, we agreed that the wording was going to say we must achieve the goal of free, equality, free, quality, decolonized education, which is what the students wanted. After that, with the engagement, the so-called breakdown, don't listen to anything that you hear. The breakdown of what caused the General Assembly not to take place as was planned was on the simple issue that the student leadership was saying, we cannot have this General Assembly in the same colonial way that the other 9 that were held. We must have other constituencies that are going to speak, and what is more important, we must have dialogue. We must have an interactive session where we will be able to take some inputs from the floor. And to motivate that, they gave us a long list of problems that are afflicting this organization or this university, ranging from hunger of students, university residences that are about demolished, people who are not going to write their exams, all the issues that you know about. And they wanted those issues to be ventilated. The compromise from the student was that we should then have the General Assembly with all its formalities, but also have an imbizo which will deal with all these other issues. The other sticking point was the question of return to class on Monday. We had openly said that our intervention was meant for 2 things. 1, to secure peace here and ensure that no student is killed, as I said. But secondly, to secure the 2016 academic year and save it and make sure that people will write their exams, that normal learning will continue. In other words, we were asking the students, what conditions will you put for us to be able to continue with the academic year? And they said it very loud and clear. We want a firm statement from the government on free, quality. We then said to the student leadership, okay, let us then find ways to ensure that there will be a return to class, and that return to class must be accompanied by the issues that you are putting on the table. And of course, they